We have quite a bit of flying to do today. From Londolosi, we're flying to Kruger International Airport to clear South African customs and then on to Mon in Botswana to clear customs and immigration there. Then a short hop to our final destination, Selinda Camp. Selinda Camp gets its name from the Selinda Spillway, which connects the Okavango Delta to the Linyanti Marshes. The local name is Magwikana, meaning many small pools of water. During periods of drought, the spillway becomes a series of grassy meadows. The highlands of Angola are the source of water for the Okavango Delta. If the rainy season gets exceptional rainfall, the Selinda Spillway provides a channel for the water to flow from the Okavango to the Linyanti Marshes and eventually to the Zambezi and the ocean. At the entrance to Selinda Camp, we're greeted by two gigantic mastodon skulls cast in bronze, setting our expectations for some amazing elephant encounters. The skulls must be taken as symbolic, since mastodons lived in prehistoric North America. The main lodge looks out over the spillway. Hippo and bird watching are easy, while enjoying a G&T from the bar. The walls of our tent are canvas, but the door looks like an antique from Zanzibar's Stone Town. The antique bar cabinet hides a modern minibar refrigerator. I can picture Hemingway after a day of big game hunting, struggling to take off his boots on these chairs. Then through another pair of antique doors is the bathroom. I'm glad I don't have to clean and polish the brass tub. The furnishings are intended to evoke another time, 100 years ago, when safaris were new and exotic. But fortunately, all the modern amenities are here for our comfort and pleasure. Even a plunge pool to wash off the dust after a game drive. And the dining is first rate. From the drinks from the bar, potato leek soup, and the delicious mushroom risotto. One morning they surprised us with a bush breakfast. Our table looked out over the spillway. The breads and fruits were fresh, and the granola and yogurt tasty. As anticipated, there are a lot of elephants here. It seems to be a perfect environment for them, with lots of grass to graze and bushes to browse, and plenty of water holes to drink and bathe in. And all this plenty contributes to a large number of baby elephants, which are especially fun to watch. Especially when they're still trying to figure out what to do with their trunk.
But also because all our owners, we know them well, we can do what we want. Probably get big Zach for the rent to get like. Yeah. I think I've heard actually before. 5.
Rhinos always have the right-of-way. Note that these have had their horns removed to discourage poachers. Another of the big five, the Cape buffalo, is here in large herds. We give them wide berth since they can be cantankerous. That only leaves the cats, the lions, and the leopards to complete the big five. We find the lions doing what they do best, resting. But on a night drive, we find 2 lion brothers. They're calling to a third brother. Their roars are so loud and low-pitched, that you could feel the vibration, not just hear it. The third brother answers back, and they walk off in the direction of his roars. The next day, we spotted the two brother lions again. This one was named Blondie for his light-colored mane. They were very photogenic and posed for us. It wasn't until our last day at Selinda that we found a leopard to complete our big five. He ignored us for a while. Then he stopped and looked us over waringly. Then he climbed on a fallen tree and posed for us. With all these predators around, you'd expect to find some prey. The same grass and ponds that the buffalo and the elephants love is home to antelopes that have evolved to flourish in this watery world. The lechwe stand 3 feet at the shoulder and weigh between 110 and 260 pounds, with males being larger than females. Their favorite foods are aquatic plants and grasses in flooded meadows. Use the knee-deep water as protection from predators. Their legs are covered in a natural water repellent that allows them to run quite fast in knee-deep water. Another antelope that is adapted to this watery environment is the appropriately named waterbuck. They're considerably larger than the lechwe. They're about 50 inches at the shoulder and weigh between 400 and 500 pounds. Like the lechwe, they exude a greasy substance, but theirs not only provides waterproofing, but also an odor which is so unpleasant it repels predators. The female's coat is lighter in color than the male's. Finally, it's time to talk about the birds. There are a lot of lilac-breasted rollers around to practice our birds in flight techniques. There are plenty of big raptors here to practice on too. And there are always vultures to clean up whatever is left by the predators. And whatever is left over after the vultures goes to the Miravu stork. With all the open grassland, it was no surprise that we would eventually find an ostrich here. The grasslands are also home to the well-camouflaged Namokwa sand grouse and her chicks. The chicks of the red-billed spurfowl are a little older. The Kori bustard is the second largest bird in Africa after the ostrich. This one put on a mating display, trying to impress a female. Along the edges of the water are insect eaters, like these bee eaters. A canary is feasting on berries on the side of the spillway. These go-away birds, named for their call, are foraging for snails. Saddle-billed storks usually prey on fish, but they also eat frogs and mollusks. There aren't many ducks on the spillway, but that might just be the time of year. This area seems to have it all, from the big five to the smallest birds and everything in between. Here's a link to the playlist for our 2025 Adventures in Africa and one to our 2014 visit to nearby Zambezi Camp.